Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Pyric here, and again I am joined with Laz. How's it going, Laz?
What's going on? It's good, guys.
It is another late night because both me and Laz are insomniacs, so we wanted to talk about what's been going on lately.
Yeah, some interesting stuff's happened since we haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, like we've had a couple. They've actually been throwing at a lot of events at us lately, like pretty much like one after another after another. I'm actually kind of tired.
Yeah, the farming gets a little tedious after a while.
But we've actually been given a lot of good stuff. Like we had Bakura come back, and Bakura was pretty mad, like Bakura usually is. But then we've had Super Joey, and we're running. Right now, we have Arcana coming out. Another Duelist is coming Monday, I think, Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday, I believe it's Wednesday morning, depending on your time zone. Like for us, it's 1 a.m. Eastern, so it'll be Wednesday morning. A few other things to talk about. We got some interesting updates too. Like for the Bakura event, we got X jewels that can be traded in the card trader, and really pretty interesting.
Yeah, the EX jewels that we got for the card trader definitely made that event a whole lot more pleasant, and they showed that they're giving us some cards that we couldn't get otherwise back through those EX jewels. Like we also got we finally got the ability to shiny and prism out our card trader cards, but it's terrible.
Way too overpriced. Definitely not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like, overpriced is, like, the massive understatement. Like, oh, let me go pull up this embodiment of Anubis that takes 2,000 rare jewels. I have 190 days of playtime, and it's almost all of my rare jewels.
It's ridiculous how bad it is, to be honest.
Like, I have, like, 50,000 generic keys, and I still can't, like, afford these. It's stupid. They better change this thing quick.
Yeah, it's definitely like the worst implemented feature they've done so far.
It is, and which is kind of weird considering all the other stuff is getting polished and better. Like we have missions now. The missions have been great. Where except for all of mine are done, so that's not useful. But where so like they've been giving us a lot more like anti RNG features to all of the events, which is what we really desperately needed.
Yeah, like it's a step in the right direction. It definitely helps out. Like for the Bakura event, I couldn't drop a trans archfiend to save my life. Saved up the X jewels, got my last trans archfiend I needed.
Yeah, and like, so we got Super Joey back, which was a pretty big deal because ever since Crimson Kingdom came out, Red Eyes has been everywhere. And Super Joey, they gave us Red Eyes Insight, and Red Eyes Insight is absolutely disgusting. The mission, however, didn't give us any Red Eyes Insights.
Nope, just a spirit. It was my first spirit too. Like that event, the drop rates were so horrendous on it. One insight and two spirits, and one of the spirits was from the mission rewards.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. I mean, it is what it is right now, and hopefully they get better at giving us those mission rewards. Because the problem is they give us so many roaming duelists, but nobody seems overly happy with the roaming duelists.
It's not the point of being out. It's RNG is such a big factor in the roaming duelist that it just hurts not just a few players. It hurts a collective of players because you can't get what you need to drop even after you farmed 100 times.
Yeah, and you can't really ignore these events either because they've been, they're putting good cards in them, and you just always need to be able to get all of the cards that you can get available to you because you never know what's going to be big.
Well, straight up look at Insight. Insight's a one card Red Eyes pretty much. And if you didn't get it, you're kind of SOL this meta because Red Eyes is one of the biggest decks.
Yeah, like we have other options, but like, so right now, we have Red Eyes The other stuff that come out of the newest pack that just came out, which was Dawn of Destiny. We got Naturia's making a big deal. We have zombies. I haven't really played against any zombies right now in PvP, but it has hit King of Games, so the deck's it's a legit deck if you have it. And then we also have
Naturia running around. And speaking of Naturia, we did get a pretty interesting drop when Arcana came around. People were kind of complaining and bitching that we didn't get any dark magician support. We got Dark Eradicator Warlock, which is just a gimmicky card, but we got anti-magic arrows at the same time, even one from the mission rewards. And the card is pretty game-changing, letting you shut down effects and activations of spells and traps during battle phases. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's a card that's like probably could be like kind of sort of oppressive because the fact that it allows you to just ignore back row and you can't respond to it. So like, since a lot of our cards right now are like, position changers are significantly less effective during the main phase when you can just position change back. Or for something like Red Eyes, where you can pop your spirits in battle phase after you've already anti-magic arrowed.
Yeah, you can't use it like that at all. No spells or traps can be activated, even your own. And a lot of people tend to forget that that's where...
Yeah, see, and I'm really bad at reading all of the text on a card.
Well, there's a ton of text on the card, I guess. But no, it just overall is a really good card, especially for OTK decks like Red Eyes and Naturia want to be able to finish that and not deal with a Mirror Wall or a Super Rush Headlong and stuff like that. Also, Super Rush Headlong being in Dawn of Destiny being such a good card overall. And with the minor bug that's going on, being able to beat out tunes is really good.
Yeah, Super Rush is definitely it's seen a lot of use in a big way. It's become kind of sort of the generic protection removal spell of choice. Being a small set, it's a lot more obtainable.
It's just versatility, right? Like, realistically, it's just depending on how you play it and if you know how to play it, it's an offensive and a defensive card that can save games, can change game states completely.
Yeah, it's the classic, it's like Econ, where Econ is so good because it's so generic and flexible, but yeah, you can play offense and you can play defense, and you can do almost whatever you need it to do.
Yeah, it's just a good card overall, and anti-magic arrows being able to shut down that ability to play Super Rush Headlong or Mirror Wall and stuff like that has been impacting the meta, depending on who's getting it to drop, right?
Yeah, that's the real problem is if you don't get the drops on these duelists, like do you have insight, do you have anti-magic arrows, then you're just kind of out of luck, so you do kind of have to be kind of lucky.
Like, realistically, Konami can up the amount of wins and losses or whatever, like number of duels you need for missions, and just give us more copies so we're guaranteed to get at least 2, right?
Yeah. And the other big thing is like we've had these new cards come out and we've had new decks. Like right now you're seeing a whole bunch of Naturia and you're seeing a whole bunch of Red Eyes, but also the new Fire King Island deck has been cropping up quite a bit, just looping Phoenix and Neffys over and over. But then also, because these decks started coming up and the nerfs happened this week, Tunes and Mill have all of a sudden been popping up because people aren't really running answers to either of those decks. They just kind of happen to be positioned well. But the big thing is nerfs happen, so 3-star demo and Harpies have pretty much just disappeared.
Harpies being pretty much a -1 to begin with just hurts the deck a lot. But at the same time, people are overrating, like underestimating how bad the nerf really is, and overestimating how bad, like how good the nerf is. It's a dumb nerf, in my opinion.
Yeah, all three of the nerfs felt really premature. They didn't really take into account as to like what other cards were going to be coming out, which was knowledge we wouldn't have as a community, but knowledge they would have as the developer. And like, okay, we're going to nerf these decks, but then we're going to release Red Eye's Insight.
Yeah, it's just dumb. And restart the motion going from 2K to 3K is just it's a slap in the face because we don't have that many good healers. It's not going to be competitive anymore. Basically, just shut down the whole thing, really.
Yeah, definitely. Like Weevil also would be having problems with this new meta because Weevil doesn't like a lot of things about it. Like you have anti-magic arrows and the Phoenix Nephies that both hate on back row, which is a problem for Weevil, as well as just big monsters. You have monsters bigger than you can really defend well from.
Yeah, anti-magic arrow shutting down back row just kind of kills Weevil. At the same time, Weevil did get a minor nerf, but his nerf wasn't anything that horrendous, to be fair. Going from 1 to 3 copies of Parasite or in your opponent's deck to 1 to 2 isn't that big of a change.
No, it really isn't. And to be honest, it's like you're never really gonna actually put 3 parasites onto the field in one game, so that's kind of like not a big deal to begin with. And it's RNG, and like you weren't jamming 3 whistles. I mean, some people might jam 3 whistles, but the big thing was Konami just took the big 3 decks and just decided it'll be like, we're gonna smack all of you just so people play new stuff.
Yeah, pretty much what they do in the TCG. We did get a buff to Fairy Smile, but no one played it.
Yeah,
no one's gonna play it.
We don't have cards that make Fairy Smile worthwhile. Like, we don't have any like real good ways to abuse having a million LP.
Yeah, like if they gave us the agents, not just 1 or 2, like Venus, and gave us Sanctuary in the Sky, even though it might be a little too overpowered, considering you take no battle damage from fairies, but even that's not that great. But if you give us the agents alongside Fairy Smile, you might see some play because they interact with life point differences, right?
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, so since like we've had like all these shakeups, all these nerfs and everything, the big highlight of all of that is they finally redid ranked, period. And so this whole season has been super competitive. It's our first month-long ranked season too, but the rewards have been excellent as well.
Yeah, we have it SR cards, SR tickets, rare tickets, normal tickets. We got exclusive PvP only cards. We have gems, now decent amounts for hitting each rank. It's not 50 whatever anymore. You get individual gems for hitting each rank you can rank up to. Just for example, you get 100 for hitting flat. You get another 100 for hitting legend, and 200 for getting games, which is 400 compared to the 50 that we were 150 where we're getting 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, like it used to be like I could spend like my weekend beating my head against RNG to hit King of Games for 1 pack, but like now hitting King of Games is worth 4 packs. However, part of the problem with the changes is they added more ranks, and pretty much every single rank up in Legend is a King of Games. Like, so you have to get 5-0 3 times now.
It's definitely made it a lot harder. There's win streak, and there's certain ways to play to it. Say if you win 3, lose 1, and you can win 2 and rank up. It's interesting. It makes the game bit harder, which we were complaining about. At the same time, it was kind of unnecessary to go as hard as it was. It's an okay rank system overall now compared to what we had.
Yeah, I think it's like a step in the right direction, but at the same time, I don't like the ridiculous amount of grinding and RNG aspects of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It needs some more tweaking. Definitely need a few better rewards for the exclusive PvP stuff. Like, we got Perfect Machine King, which no one's gonna get, and a couple other janky random SRs. We did get Behemoth King of all Beasts. We did get Anteater Eating Ant, which are okay. They're really interesting stuff. Legacy of Yatagarasu is just, people hype this card up, but it's basically just a Jar of Greed, unless your opponent controls a spirit monster, which, unless you're running gimmicky Mystic Box stuff, it's just a 0 instead of a +1.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. The nice thing is you finally have a way to be like, okay, well, I can grind my econs through PvP now. If you're just like one of those people who just don't have any luck, I can get these tickets. Also, the cool thing is you can get shiny cards out of these tickets, but then we also have the question of how often are we going to get new cards? You only get 2 tickets a month. Also, just grinding 100 games in PvP is kind of a lot.
It's gonna take a while. I think the seasons are too long, right? But I don't know. It just needs some fixing. It's good. It's a good starting point considering from what we had. It just needs to be tweaked more.
Yeah, like, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Most of the stuff that they've been doing, just little quality of life things, like they changed the interface for Vagabond, and they've added the anti-RNG stuff with these tickets for PvP and with the missions and the X gems, and like we've had a lot of really nice little quality upgrades lately.
Yeah, and it's slowly getting better. Apart from the card trader still sucks. The amount of work and time it's going to take to glossy or prismatic anything is just a waste of time. They definitely need to scale back on the cost of the gems and everything to make that feature any good.
Oh yeah, it's absolute insanity. Like, it's not even like 2 times the cost of a regular one or 3 times the cost. It's just an absolutely astronomical cost. And like, seriously, you have to spend like ultra rare gems and secret rare gems and elemental orbs and rare orbs to just prism one card, and it's nuts.
It's not worth it whatsoever right now. If they'd scale it back, like, to be fair, it needs to scale back to at least like 75% of the cost right now.
Oh yeah, like, I was like all excited for this, hoping that I could just sort of like go and be like, well, I have thousands of orbs, I should just be able to foil out everything. But I'm like, I made 1 card and I kind of not happy about it.
Well, we've been playing for almost 200 days consecutively, and I have the necessary amount of orb and stuff to do it, but it's not worth it at all.
Not remotely.
Like, overall, everything's been improving. We're seeing shifts in meta. We're seeing shifts in gameplay. We're seeing updates. Like, even with the new update to 1.8, we got graphic redesigns for basically a little bit of everything. We got little things here and there.
Yeah, and like they're working on like the interfacing and stuff like that, and the game's becoming a little bit more stable because it was pretty bad there for the last PvP season.
Slowly getting better. There's still the random disconnects. There's still the auto lose on a certain, like when you go to join a match. There's just things they need to fix server side to make it better.
Yeah, we're still experiencing a fair amount of PvP bugs, and like a lot of people have been saying like, well, I've either ranked up or ranked down on various number of wins and or losses right now in current PvP season. So like nobody really knows 100% how the PvP ranking system works right now, and they didn't like release a notice telling us either.
No, it definitely needs to go into more detail about how the ranking up system works. It definitely needs to just be expanded upon and really given more details of everything. Like what I'd really like to is a function that would let us see how many times we fought a certain legendary duelist and the win-loss ratio.
Yeah, like more win-loss ratios would be cool. My big gripe is I just want like really really good open like PvP metadata, but I don't think they're ever going to give us that.
Yeah, that's asking for too much, I think.
Because like the stuff that we've gotten out of the reports are just like what skills are popular and what duelists are popular, but like we can't know, hey, everybody's running this Red Eyes list, or hey, everybody's running like this Harpies list. Like we don't know that. We're not going to know that. We don't even know like their win-loss ratios with certain decks. Like we don't know, maybe like 50% of the people are playing Harpies, but like they only have like a 40% win rate. Like we can't know that information unless they give it to us, unfortunately.
It's just filling out the surveys, asking them for these certain things. They've been kind of listening. They've been adding some new stuff. It's just, we need more information. We need better ways to reduce RNG. We need more information on the PvP system as a whole. It's just lack of information is killing us.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I'm pretty forgiving. Game's not even a year old yet. Like, I don't even think it's like a year old from the first like players that first got into the game. And so, like, all things considered, they've done a lot. They also haven't like been removing packs or anything from the shop recently, which was a pretty bad idea when they did it, and immediately had to bring them back.
Well, yeah, we've been playing for 198 or 197 consecutive days. That's beta. That's a global release. So, from where we started, the game not even being a year old, the game is really good.
Yeah, definitely excited. My big thing is I just can't wait until the next big event, like the next Kaiba Cup, the next like World Champs. I hope World Champs comes back next year. Really curious to see what comes out of our the Duel Links World Championship that should be coming up here soonish.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. That's coming up in August, I believe, 11th or 12th. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100%. But in between, we should get another Kaiba Cup. That was really interesting. We should be getting more stuff to go along, like bigger tournament.
Yeah, that's. I would really like a more accelerated, like bigger tournament schedule, or like if their goal is to make the PvP like normal regular ranked seasons like closer to something like a Hearthstone type like ranked season. So like there are ranked matters more, so the ranked are like bigger tournaments. Like we need a much bigger overhaul. Like they would need to change it to like the DP system instead of like the win streaks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if the Duelist point, like whatever it was called, system was still in place, that would be so much better considering, like especially when Kaiba Cup was around, it gave us rankings, it gave you rewards for getting ahead, it gave you rewards for reaching certain ranks, certain levels. It was just like overall, it was a better system.
It was, and the thing that I liked the best is you fought you got paired against people that were very close in your skill level, and so like the decks you fought and the players you fought were of a certain level and consistency, which I really like. And the problem, one of my biggest gripes about our current rank system is it kind of just feels like you're just playing against anything.
Definitely, and you got like what I think was good about World Championship qualifier. It was region based, so you weren't dealing with everybody, the randoms that were playing 30 card decks in Platinum trying to get to King games with 30 card decks. You're not playing a bunch of Japanese players that play weird, inconsistent builds that pop off. The only downside to it is you weren't playing the same kind of thing like Kaiba Cup where you had similar rankings as your matchups. You were playing anyone, anywhere.
Yeah, I like there's some plus sides to that. Where there's also like some downsides where like part of the region problem was there's certain regions that were pretty soft. But all in all, I think everyone would rather be facing people from their locale. I think part of that makes it a little bit fairer for everybody because everyone's region is going to have like different resources and everything.
It's just different play styles if you're used to a certain play style. And I know it's Duel Links. I know it's not the TCG, but your play style does come into effect no matter what kind of game you're playing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Japanese players don't build the same decks that American players do to some extent. I mean, like if there's a clear best deck, there's a clear best deck. They're going to be playing it. We're going to be playing it, but like card choices are going to vary and play styles and skills are going to vary. Like Japanese players love Destiny Draw.
Oh, they really do. And you'll see slight variances in North American players. Like myself personally, for Red Eyes, I prefer Restart because it gives you a chance at a mulligan, like a free mulligan in any game is a good idea, especially when you're running 4 to 5 7-star monsters and you're not playing the stuff that brings them out in one turn.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you like your skill choices will make a big difference in a deck. I mean, and there's all sorts of like pluses and minuses to him. Like yeah, like he like Laz wants to play Restart for that consistency. Currently I've been playing Beatdown. I like what it does in the mirror, but also I just need to play test more and decide what I really like.
It's just a fact of everybody's playstyle is different, right? You coming from a Magic the Gathering background have that experience where, yeah, we could all be playing one type of deck, but everyone's going to play it differently. I got a background in the TCG for Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's just certain tech choices, certain plays, certain ways to make plays. It all just factors in.
Oh yeah, and like some people are going to be more cautious, some people are going to be more aggressive, and you're going to pick decks that suit that. Like I can't play a deck like Tunes for too long because like I really hate that like some of the coin flip aspects of like playing something like that or burn or whatever. So like I'm always going to lean like towards something that's like generally a little bit more consistent, that's or like more flexible, can interact well. I like interacting with my opponents.
It's just playstyle and reading the meta. That's why Mill and Tunes are doing okay, because the meta's where it is now. Beat down Naturia, beat down Red Eyes, Gemini Zombies. It's just being able to counter the meta decks is what you got to do. And that's why we're seeing so many random Tunes and so many random Mill decks.
Yeah, but the cool thing is like previous rank seasons weren't this competitive. You weren't seeing these shifts, and like it is a long season, so you're seeing a lot of shifts within one season, but like you weren't seeing this before. And I think that's a really cool thing that like everyone's taking ranked way more serious.
Definitely, especially when, you know, a weekend you're getting a brand new pack, right?
Yeah, like you're getting pretty big shifts within a season, you know, like because cards are keep coming out and you know they're making new changes. Like we're gonna have like we don't know, Merrick might bring big changes because we know Merrick's coming. Like Merrick's just coming.
Oh yeah, I'll be here in like 3 days. So you don't know what he's gonna do, right?
Yep, never know. some people are saying Necro Valley's coming, and you know, that happens.
I don't know if they're going to give us Necro Valley this early on in the game, especially considering it would just make Gravekeeper's Tier 0, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like, Necro Valley would just totally crap on everything everyone's doing right now, but can't wait to see what happens in a few days. So far, this new PvP system's been super interesting. This season's been crazy. Lots of new decks, lots of people, like, Tekken versus other stuff, and, like, yeah, like, a whole bunch of people are on Red Eyes. Red Eyes is kind of like the new enemy number one, but then, like, there's a whole lot of disagreements within what Red Eyes you're playing. Some people are pure zombies. Crazy deck early in the season was using Endless Trap Hell and Magical Hat, so it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, overall, it's been an interesting couple weeks.
Definitely. Well, guys, it's been great talking to you. Look forward to seeing what Merrick's coming out with in the next few days, and then we'll definitely be back to. Hopefully he doesn't destroy the world, but definitely hope that Merrick brings something new to the table.
Oh yeah, definitely is going to be interesting. All right, guys, Laz signing out.
See you guys later. Enjoy talking to you. Peace.